Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe if you're new here, and today I'm showing you guys what I eat in a day, in a typical day in Switzerland. Today I'm at home at my parents, and this morning I had a little bit of grapes but I didn't show you guys. And so it's time for breakfast now, and I'm having this beautiful bowl of chocolatey banana, plums, figs, cinnamon, raisins, a smoothie bowl. I added also some puffed quinoa, some flax seeds, and some coconut on top, and it was really good. It was like my lunch pretty much because I had it around noon, and now it's about 2 p.m. And now I'm having some tea. It's just fresh ginger and lemon juice. During this video, I also decided to answer you guys some questions related to food that you've been asking me. So let's get straight into it. There's a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer them all. Do you eat any comfort foods, or do you only eat whole foods? I definitely also eat comfort foods, more processed foods, whether it's chocolate or yogurt, vegan yogurt obviously, vegan ice cream. I do eat vegan junk food or vegan processed foods once in a while, especially in social occasions. I do not keep it only whole foods. When I eat by myself though, I would say it's 98% whole foods. It just depends on the period. Sometimes I don't feel like eating any kind of processed foods, and sometimes I'll add a little bit. I try to keep it like the majority of my food whole foods, and it's like my base diet, but when I'm in social situations or when I feel like having something a little different, then I'm definitely not restricting myself. How many meals do you have per day and at what time? It changes all the time, but recently it's been 2 meals a day, 2 pretty big meals a day, one around noon and then one around 5. And I make sure I eat a lot. I'm pretty good at eating large amount of foods. If you have a small stomach and have trouble digesting a lot of food at once, I would highly recommend doing less meals, but more meals, sorry, but smaller ones throughout the day. So I've gone through phases of doing smaller meals and a lot of them, or bigger meals and just a few of them. That's what's worked best for me at the moment. That's just also how my schedule works best, but depending on your schedule and if you go to work or school, you might have to pack snacks and stuff like that. Any ideas of vegan foods that are filling me up for when I work 10 hours a day? Definitely focus on whole complex carbs, and maybe add some lentils and for protein, and some fats like avocado. These meals tend to keep you full for longer, so something like rice and beans with guacamole, or a pasta dish, or some potatoes, with avocado, or some kind of tahini sauce and vegetables. Do you snack, and what are your go-to snacks? I usually don't snack throughout the day unless I'm really hungry, or if I go to school I might take a few apples with me or some fruit. Usually my snacks are fruits and dates, which is also fruit. And if I feel like eating something salty, it will be raw vegetable with some kind of homemade hummus. So I'm just having an afternoon snack, and I don't have that much fruit, and I also just had a lot of fruit recently, so I just made this bowl. It's carrots and cucumber, and this is a sort of hummus with turmeric and beans in it as well. Do you binge? I used to binge. I don't anymore. I just eat when I'm hungry, and I eat until I'm full, and I tend to have bigger meals now, and also that doesn't make me want to snack in between meals because I have really big meals. And if I'm really hungry, I'm just gonna eat. So I don't binge because I never restrict anymore. How do you balance between healthy and cheat meals? I don't have cheat meals. I don't either eat healthy all the time. I don't really classify the type of meals I have. I just know that my base is gonna be whole plant foods, and that whenever I want to add other foods that are not whole foods, I'll just eat them, you know, and make sure I eat them alongside with a lot of greens, for example, or just eat better, healthier the next day or the next week, you know. It doesn't really matter that much. What's your favorite food? Definitely fruits. Really good papayas I love. Yeah, just fruit in general and smoothie bowls. One question I received a lot from you guys that I got really disappointed, not disappointed from you guys, but just that's one of the most annoying questions that I tend to get is, how do you get protein as a vegan? And I don't know, it still blows my mind that nowadays people still think you're going to be protein deficient as a vegan. The protein deficiency is a myth. You can't not be protein deficient unless you undereat and you go into famine mode. So that's pretty much none of us watching this video. Hopefully, I hope so. So really, protein is like the last thing on the list that you should worry about as a vegan. If you eat a variety of whole plant foods, you're gonna have enough protein. And I am a triathlete. I work out pretty much every day, and I have not lost any muscle. If anything, I've gained muscle since going on a vegan diet. And having muscles is about training. It's not all about food, and you really need a small amount of it. If you eat too much protein, that's gonna be really exhausting for your kidneys, and you're gonna feel tired, and your digestion is gonna slow down. I want to embrace veganism, but I feel that even though I did many researches, I'm not qualified enough. You know, I went vegan without knowing so much about it, and in the beginning it was just an experiment, and then I just learned as I went, and I would take blood tests once in a while just to make sure I have everything, and if I was missing something, then I would supplement it or change my diet slightly so just I get enough of that vitamin or mineral. The only thing that I've been deficient as a vegan ever since I started almost 6 years ago now was B12, and B12 is a vitamin that not only vegans are deficient of, and it's super easy to supplement as long as like you eat a variety of plant foods and focus on eating plant-based foods and lots of fruits and vegetables, and make sure you're eating enough. You can't go wrong with going vegan. Do you eat chocolate and other kinds of sweets? I'm not really a sweets person except when it comes to fruits and smoothie bowls. I do like chocolate and I do eat it once in a while. I go through phases, I think, of eating it and not eating it. It's definitely not something you're gonna find in my weekly grocery list. What healthy treats do you like? I don't really have treats because I eat so much when I eat foods that I don't feel like I need snacks or treats. But if I feel like eating something sweet, I will have dates or some kind of like power balls, energy balls. But yeah, I hardly ever bake. And I like vegan ice cream, so I'll make, for example, banana ice cream, or I'll just buy some vegan ice cream. Do you eat high carb, low fat? I would say that my diet is a higher carb diet and lower in fat, because I don't really cook with oil and stuff like that, but I think the high carb, low fat diet forbids the consumption of salt, and I do eat salt. So I would say yes, in general I have a high carb diet because I eat mostly fruits and I don't know, potatoes and vegetables, but I don't eat as much carbs as I used to. I used to drink massive amounts of banana smoothies and eat so much of it, and I still do eat really a lot, but I make sure I focus on nutrition and not just about getting all the carbs in. Have you ever experienced binge eating? Yes, I have. When I had an eating disorder, I made a video about it, so I'll link it down below. How much tofu do you typically consume? I hardly ever buy tofu at the moment. I like tofu. It's nothing that there's something wrong with it. I just prefer fresh vegetables and I don't feel like I need it. My boyfriend really likes tofu, so when I am with him, I do tend to eat a little bit more tofu than usual because he really likes it. I go through phases. Sometimes I'll buy it for a couple weeks every week, and sometimes I just don't buy it for a month. At the moment, I don't really eat it. How often do you eat salt if you do? I eat salt, I would say on average like once a day, because usually my lunch/breakfast is a really big smoothie bowl or oats, and that's something that's sweet and I don't add salt to it. And my dinner is gonna be a veggie based meal with starches like potatoes or rice or quinoa, and in this meal I usually add some salt, so that's the only time pretty much that I eat salt during the day. How do you keep your iron levels high? Tips and tricks please, I'm struggling with it. I was iron deficient before I went vegan, and as soon as I went vegan it went away. I was eating raw at the time, I was making sure I was eating lots of greens. I don't know, I think it also has to do a lot with absorption. If you are celiac or gluten intolerant, I've heard that gluten can actually mess up with your digestion and especially your absorption of certain nutrients. And if you're eating a lot of gluten, such as like pasta, bread, that could be the reason why you're not absorbing iron or other nutrients. So I would try maybe going gluten-free for a while and see how it affects you. Maybe you're already gluten-free. I don't know, just make sure you eat a lot of lentils and spinach. And if you really need to supplement it, because some people do, then supplement it. What strategies can I use at home to implement a vegan lifestyle while still living with my parents? So you have to discuss with them about what it is that you want to do, why it's important for you, and basically what's your plan and why you want to go vegan, and so that they really understand, even if they disagree and don't want to do it themselves, at least that they understand it's important for you. And then find an organization plan with them, like what are they gonna eat, who's gonna cook, how do you choose the quantity you eat. I just eat until I'm full, so I usually cook a lot and then I eat until I'm full. If you're struggling with binge eating and you can't really listen to your hunger signals, what I did is I would eat a lot, and I would sometimes eat too much. And sometimes it's hard to know also how much I'm gonna eat, so I cook too much. And then I eat everything, even though I could be already full without eating everything. But it's okay, you know, and along the way you're gonna learn when you're hungry and when you're not anymore, and you're gonna be able to not eat everything if you're not hungry anymore, and just stop when you're full. And that takes a lot of time to get back into balance, especially if you've had an eating disorder. Just eat until you're full, and then it will become more and more intuitive about when you're hungry and when you're not hungry anymore. Do you meal plan and calculate how much protein, fat, etc. you're going to get? I don't do meal plan, and I don't calculate how much I eat. I don't check any of that. I used to do it, and I think unless you're still obsessed with eating disorder and how much you eat and counting calories, I wouldn't recommend it. But I think in the beginning when you go vegan, it's good to check what you're eating on Chronometer and make sure you're eating at least 2,000 calories a day to make sure you're just feeding your body properly. And if you're also trying to avoid binge eating and all this stuff, you need to make sure you're eating enough, and also to get all the vitamins and nutrients you need. So Chronometer is a great website for that. I will link it down below as well if you're interested. Yeah, that's all the questions I got. I also wanted to talk about intermittent fasting, because that's pretty much what I do now. And that's not something I'm going to talk about today, but in my next What I Eat in a Day video, I'm going to talk about that. I hope you guys are interested in this topic. If you have any questions regarding intermittent fasting, let me know down in the comments and I will answer it in the future video. And then we had dinner with my boyfriend. It was really, really yummy. I made some oven-baked potatoes and sweet potatoes. I also made some homemade chili, which was really, really good. We had salad, and I also had some kombucha with it. He makes homemade kombucha, and it was really, really delicious. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoy it, and don't forget to leave the questions down below about intermittent fasting, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.